Make me a channel of your peace. Welcome to another edition of Heart Tales, Stories of St. Francis and Stories of God. I'm Jim Sear, and I'd like to tell you the story of the Wolf of Gubbio. The story goes like this. There once was a proud town at the foot of a great mountain at the edge of a large wood called Gubbio. One night, a shadow came out of the woods and prowled the streets of Gubbio. In the morning, one of the citizens of Gubbio was found dead, mangled in one of the alleys. No one had seen the crime, but everyone was afraid, and almost everyone stayed indoors that next night, but there were some who ventured out alone late at night. The next morning began with cries throughout the town. Another citizen was found, his clothes torn, his body mangled. But an old woman had peered out her window in the middle of the night, and by the light of the moon she had seen the shadow of a lean and hungry wolf. Now everyone was terrified. That night, everyone stayed indoors except for two young men. They had their swords strapped to their sides and they were seeking fame. But the wolf saw them before they saw the wolf, and in the morning, the people of Gubbio saw that the two young men did not even have a chance to draw their swords. Now everyone was terrified. A town meeting was held in the great piazza, and after much debate, a course of action was decided upon. It seemed that there was a holy man in the nearby town and that he spoke with animals. Perhaps he would speak with the wolf. So the elders of Gubbio journeyed to that nearby town and sought out the holy man. They were directed to a small piazza in one of the poorer sections of town. There they met a simple man dressed in woolen rags. The holy man listened to them complain about the wolf, and then he said, "Well, what do you want me to say to the wolf?" One elder said, "Why, tell him about the commandments, especially the one, 'Thou shalt not kill.'" Another elder said, "Tell him about the great commandment. Tell him to love his neighbor as he loves himself." But the other elders all disagreed with the first two, saying, "Wolves are wolves, and they will never change. Tell the wolf to go to another town. We don't deserve a wolf in Gubbio." Then the elders began to name all the great cities of Italy that they felt deserved the wolf. "We'll send them to Rome. Those lawyers in Rome are liars." "How about Florence? The merchants in Florence are greedy." "How about Milan? The bankers in Milan are dishonest." "I know. Send them to Venice. The people in Venice celebrate carnival without morals and without shame." Of course, they felt the good city of Gubbio deserved no wolf. Well, the holy man listened patiently, and then told them to go home. Yes, he would speak with the wolf. That night, the holy man journeyed to the woods outside of Gubbio, and as the sun went down, he entered the woods without any weapons and without any light. He walked quietly through the darkness until he could sense the presence of the shadow in front of him, and then he stopped. The holy man and the shadow stood silently in the presence of each other for a long time, and then the holy man spoke, but only two words. He said, "Brother Wolf." Nothing more was said. They understood each other. The next morning, the holy man returned to the great piazza. In the very center of Gubbio, a large crowd had gathered. They were all chattering. What has happened to the holy man? What has happened to the wolf? The holy man quieted the crowd, and then he spoke. Good people of Gubbio, it is very simple. You must feed your wolf. And then the holy man quickly returned to his own hometown. Well, all day long, the people of Gubbio argued about what the holy man had said. What does he mean, our wolf? We don't deserve a wolf in Gubbio. That is not our wolf. Well, that night, the wolf returned to Gubbio. All the streets were dark and empty. And as the wolf turned down one of those dark and empty streets, suddenly a door swung open and light poured out into the darkness. Someone stepped into the street with a platter of food and placed it on the cobblestone road, and then quickly retreated back into their house. The wolf devoured the food put in front of him. And so it was in front of a different home every night in Gubbio. Until after a year, every house in Gubbio had taken a turn feeding their wolf. 3 more years passed, and the wolf, like all God's creatures, grew old and died. Oh, then the people of Gubbio wept, saying to themselves, how will we feed our wolf now? As for the holy man, he returned to his town of Assisi. His name was Francis. And that was not the only time he spoke with animals. He spoke with them many times. But those are all other stories. In Romans chapter 12, we hear, do not repay evil for evil, but take thought for what is noble in the sight of all. If it is possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave room for the wrath of God. As it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. No, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they're thirsty, give them something to drink. For by doing this, you will heap burning coals on their heads. Do not repay evil for evil. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Make me a channel of your peace.